Michelle Hunt. I work for Beneficial State Bank. Recently transferred from the retail side to a little bit more behind the scenes in the customer care department. Before that, I'd worked there as a relationship banker for 4 years. So I opened accounts, customer service. I really enjoyed interacting with customers face to face, helping them out. I know some folks always have such a negative image of what banks do to people, especially bigger banks, and how they treat people. And so I always feel good when people come in and they can walk away going, I really enjoy coming into this bank and talking to people. Well, when I first fell into banking, I know some friends were like, what? Why are you in banking? And I said, well, it's the Great Recession. I need a job. It just moved to Portland. So it was something to get into. And then being down here and then having this opportunity to be part of a union and seeing what we can do to make it better for everyone. It's been cool to be a part of it. I know I was very excited about it when this first happened. And most friends have been very excited about it for me to see, especially when I point out that it's been the first time in over 40 years that a bank has voted to unionize. So I've had some friends that have been really excited for me, and some friends, when I've talked to them, didn't realize how many places weren't unionized anymore. And then also kind of like thought, when I told one friend about it, that it was the first time in over 40 years that a bank was unionizing, she was like, oh, that explains so much about banks. So it was an interesting process. First, we were extremely fortunate to have our management signed a letter of agreement of neutrality to let the CWA union folks come in and talk to us. So that was an exciting part. And then also it was talking to my coworkers at the time, working at the branch. It was before we went into the shelter in place. So like the underwriters were there, still there, folks who were eligibly part of the union. So I was excited from the beginning. I know some coworkers were a little more reluctant and are not sure. But it was great to get information. And then for me, any type of information that I got, I would usually share with other coworkers and try to answer any questions on that. I worked with some other folks who were excited from the beginning, and we talked to other people in other branches about it, where we thought the advantages were of joining a union and forming one, and especially to help make our workplace a stronger place for everyone. So what I'm most hoping to take out of all the work we've done in the past year with the union is to make it a fair place to work, to make it more of a kind of think of it on the union side as a collective organization working together, and then also being able to kind of take that collective action and work and kind of show our management team that we can all work together on one level, and that will make this a stronger and a stronger bank, and make us stand out even more from other banks in this country, and that we can make it work together instead of having such a top-down hierarchy that's usually very common in the corporate world, is to be able to show that working on one level or as close to one level as possible will make this a more effective place and more profitable place, actually. But I do think for people who are considering unionizing, it's a really valuable tool for us to strengthen our workplace and to make it a better place to work, and to have management work with us instead of against us. My position has always been wherever I've worked, and I've always worked in small businesses before I kind of tell people I fell into banking. And luckily, I was lucky enough to fall into community banking, where I could see how a small bank can be a great part of the community and be super and supportive in different ways. But I also see too having a union, even at a place that you love to work and that you have great relationships. I see having a union will help, especially during times when the economy goes south. Um, I see where a union can, because too often I see it where managers just dictate what's going to happen next. And employees below that level were kind of having to adjust or not. Things can change. And I think having a union will help make it more of a kind of a more collective shift and working and making management work with you again. I'm a big fan of people reaching out and talking to you, checking in with their employees to see what works best and listening. And I think a union will go a long way in helping that happen. I mean, because face it, a lot of managers are pretty mediocre, but it will actually help managers be better at their jobs too as a result, I think. The way this country is going as a whole, and I'm excited by all the work that especially CWA has been doing to show that people in white collar jobs, people everywhere can get together and form a coalition at your place of business, work, and banking industry. We can show that it will make the companies in this country a lot better than they currently are. And I think unionizing is really one of the best ways to do it. It's been inspiring in the last year. It's been hard, especially with the pandemic, having to do everything on Zoom instead of in person. Like our negotiators were saying, it's a different process and it's probably taking longer than usual, but it's been really interesting to see what happens and what we can do.